Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus from Team Takeover, and today I'm coming out with the deck profile of my Ss3 Red-Blue deck. I took it to my P2 locals today in a 4-round event. I got 3rd place. I did go 2-2 with the deck, so I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the deck profile. But yeah, I just want to get into this leader. First off, I think this leader is fantastic. He deserves every bit of hype, I think, that everybody gives him. But right now, I'm trying to work out a style that's comfortable for me and that I can enter into with this leader and kind of quote unquote mesh my kind of play style with him. But so far I think that the current build is fantastic. There's just some cards that I would change, and I'll talk about that on the way. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just get into it. So on this side, basically, you can not charge for your first turn, and then you can discard a card from your hand to charge 2 energy. And that's just absolutely fantastic. The only downside of this side is that he doesn't do anything until you're awakened, and it's pretty imperative that you do get awakened. And then on this side, when you finally do get awakened, it's absolutely bonkers. And on both sides, it has a permanent that you cannot go beyond 6 energy. And at the end of your turn, you can untap 3 energy, and when this leader swings, you can draw a card. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, let's get into it. So, on with the red stuff, we play 4 Rushing Warrior Pen. This card is actually pretty good, but I think after today I might cut it just because of the fact that in testing theory, it's absolutely fantastic. So, if you turn 1 and you get, a red source and a blue source, and you open up this and boo, technically you have 2 draws right away, which is deeper into your deck. This is also a better recovery card. It's also red. The other issue being that it is weak against other cards late game, even if it pumps something like Jiren or another red card that we have in our deck. This could just be a more powerful card, as well as an easier card to either charge or discard. So I think that there were some times where I was conflicted with charging this right away, just because it's too good. And I know that sounds like a good problem to have, but it's honestly not. And I think that this is a card that I think I will end up cutting or changing somewhere along the line in the list. Next, 4 of the most excellent card in the deck, Sankaba. This is your Self-Awakening, and he is absolutely 100% necessary. In fact, if you open up him, he pretty much can just get your deck rolling and set you up for the Chain Attack Xeno play that we play. And Sankaba is just absolutely incredible, mandatory. Next, we play 4 of the boss of the deck, Jiren Fist of Justice. This card is absolutely fantastic. Just because Jiren allows us, 1, to swing over threats that we don't like, and it is super good against apes. Next, the key combo card of the deck, Chain Attack Trunks. This card is also very fantastic and broken beyond all reason. 1, it just has a generic play of... the generic play of being able to play a card that is 15,000 or less power from your hand, which opens up Xeno Playing God, which ruins a lot of decks and a lot of hands. I was playing against an Ultra Instinct player today, absolutely destroyed his Mafubas and Negates before I swung at him for game. As well as I played against Apes and just returned every single thing that he had going for him. So Chain Attack Trunks, absolutely fantastic. 4 of the new red staple for everybody, Ability Unleash Ultimate Gohan. This card is absolutely fantastic. It is what I like to call the option select. So basically you swing, if they negate it, because he could potentially be double striking, it's lethal, you get to draw a card. So that's just absolutely great. And you get to decide which auto you want, whether you want him double strike or auto. So that's pretty cool. Auto to draw, sorry. And then we play 4 Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. Now this card's fantastic, honestly, but I'm also feeling that it's kind of lackluster. I'm not sure if it's just the cards that I play in the deck that I don't rely on them as much. But this card usually ends up either A, getting charged, or B, discarded initially for the charge effect of my leader. And I don't know. I get the fact that when you untap 3 when you're awakened, he is basically an extra super combo. That's super awesome. And when it happens, that's awesome. But when it doesn't happen, and it's just really early, it feels kind of dead. So I'm not sure if I'll address this in the deck as well. Then we play 2 Super Saiyan, 3 Ghost Tanks, or Go Tanks. Anyway, Ghost Tanks is absolutely incredible. Actually, I think I'll probably bump this at 4. If I can be personally honest with you guys, this card is kind of game ending, and it's good aggression. And if we like discard it early because it's so far away, there is a chance that we could, just end up, blitzing our opponent a lot faster if we had more copies. So I think that this card should definitely go to 4. And then we play 4 of one of the best negates in the deck, if not the best negate in the deck, Prime Justice Topo. Basically, what he does is, with your leader being at 15,000 power, their leader being at 15,000 power, you reduce the cost of him by 2. So basically, for 2 red, you negate an attack, and then he just gets to swing and clear stuff. I was playing against a guy today who summoned Freehan, and then I swung into a Topo, and then Topo stands after he KOs a card, and he KO'd it, and then I swung at his leader, and then he brought in another one, and I swung with Topo and cleared it, and then I just kind of waited until it was the very last turn of attack order with my cards, and then I swung with Topo finally when he had no more cards. So yeah, Topo is just absolutely incredible, and I think he can be very menacing especially against Freehans, which is basically their Raging Spirits on Gohan, or cards that play themselves in. So yeah. 4 of the most broken card in the deck by far, Zeno, the Plane God. This card's just insane. Resetting the board as well as my opponent's hand, especially at key pivotal times, is just backbreaking. Yeah, so I can't explain how broken this card is enough. In this deck, it's so good. And then we play 4 Courageous Heart Yajirobe. This card is really great against apes, but I actually noticed a problem today in one of my matchups, and I'll kind of discuss it at the end of the video. So I'm not sure if Yajirobe will stay and make the list. He is absolutely fantastic, don't get me wrong, especially against apes. He's super good, and I imagine there's a lot of people who want to go to apes and other barrier-like decks, especially when the Tournament Power set comes out. So Yajirobe might still be relevant, but removal is this card's biggest weakness, and investing into this card, when you could invest into other cards sometimes, seems counterintuitive, but especially if the defense is there and it's needed, especially against apes, it's super fantastic. And then we play 4 of the best super combo for blue, Boosted Dark Piccolo. It is not Kibito Kai, it is this one. Do not play Kibito Kai. I'm solidly convinced Kibito Kai is very bad for the very notion that you put a lot of free cards back in your opponent's hand, especially against apes, since every one of their 10Ks is free. Even if it saves you a shotgun now, you put back 4 cards if they if you had the Kibito Kai and shotgun 4 cards back to their hand, the issue at that point being that they just get to play those cards all over again. So I think that Boosted Attack Piccolo is the best, and offensively and defensively, I would rather have that extra card guaranteed than the Jackal effect. 4 Energy Boosted Majin Buu. Again, this card is fantastic, but I'm not sure if it's going to make the next list. It's not that drawing cards is bad and having turn 1 plays is bad. It's just that I'm not entirely sure where I stand with this card and other draw cards, just because it's oh, I play this card, and then could it be a more powerful card? Could I be doing something else? And that's kind of what I want to reevaluate about the deck, because I think there's a lot of room for improvement. So yeah. And finally, the last card is Wiss's Coercion, 4 of it, Defense Wins Championships. And this card is absolutely fantastic. The fact that the leader untaps 3, so he can do 2 red and 1 blue. And if I have Topo and how many of our Wisses, that's how many negates I have. So that's pretty crazy. So that's pretty good. And I think that Wiss fits very well. So, problems about this deck. Why did I go 2-2? So, the 2 games that I lost to were a mirror version of Ss3 that was running mono red, and he basically just blitzed my face off, and even though I had the defensive cards for it, Ghost Tanks, Summoning Tokens is one of the cards that he played out, it just overwhelmed me in the end. And I think that overall, there were things I could have done in the match, but hindsight's like 2020, and it would have been a really hard judgment call on my part. But the more impressing match that I lost today was against Cell. And this entire deck actually suffers to Cell. When Cell is unawakened, he hits everything in the deck except Zeno, Chain Attack, Jiren, and Topo. The problem is that I think if you play Topo, he remains at 2, so he's still poppable to Cell before he's awakened. But once he's awakened, Cell, not only being able to remove cards like that I invest into like Jiren, so like it slows me to playing 1-for-1 over and over again. The other issue with Cell is the hand looping. So like Xenoplane God wants to reset the game state, draw you both 5, you want to awaken with your leader, swing in, you get to 8. So you out advantage your opponent, they draw, they swing with their leader, it's still 7 to 8 if you do the math, providing that they don't charge something. It would be at that point 6 to 8. And you get to untap 3 energy, so whatever you get will automatically become live if you get negates. The problem that I ran into is that 1, this deck has nothing to stop the Cell chain, and 2, that if my whole hand gets looped, which I played the Cell player twice, there's pretty much nothing the deck can do to recover from that. So like even if I Xenoplane God and like reset their whole hand, admittingly in the first game that I played, I blitzed a little too fast, and I didn't have Zeno on deck to reset all the cards that I was blitzing into his hand. But the other problem was is game 2, I played against Cell. I corrected that mistake, and it didn't matter. And so like now I'm pretty concerned about Cell. I'm not saying that it's overly broken, but it is extremely hard if I've awakened for my leader to get me back in the game. So I'm not really sure where I stand on how to deal with Cell and what that looks like. I'm not sure if that means I have to play like a mecha variant, which makes me extremely sad to even say, or Ginyu, because I don't want to feel like if I have to play against Cell, I have to play that or else. So yeah, either way, let me know what you guys think of this deck profile down below. Any adjustments you can make or any adjustments you would have that could address Cell. And yeah, this is Marcus from Team Takeover, signing off.